And good morning and welcome to this day being Wednesday, August 24th, 2022, or maybe it's the future. Who knows? As I'm doing this, I did it again. Maybe it is the future because I'm talking to myself from the future, the past. In my recording background, having the replay set up to the side. I'm Jay Cleveland Payne. Whether this is the past, the future, or the present, that's who I am. And this is things you might have heard for Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. What does that mean for you? That means in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to provide for you about 20 minutes or so, 9 news stories from the past 30 hours. These are stories that were deemed most conversational by folks out there on the internet who scan our feeds. Our feeds are located on Facebook and Twitter. We post a news story every 50 minutes for you to engage in. And as you engage in those stories, we get better engagement. We take the top 30 stories from about 30 hours of time, and we will take from top 15 and present some ones that are the most conversational and most easy to kind of basically turn into stories. So we have 9 for you this morning coming in just mere moments. So go by our main website. This is theconversationproject.com and check out more details about what goes on behind the scenes and some things that we do in the works. Let's get into the storylines right now, starting off with basically a bunch of rich people doing rich people stuff. Starting off with Kim Kardashian, Kevin Hart, and Sylvester Stallone, who are accused of drought restriction violations. Droughts are everywhere. California is in one of a record droughts, as basically having a stream of yearly record droughts. And they've got some severe limitations on water going on in California right now. Big time names, because they're big time names, are being accused of, getting past drought restrictions, watering when they shouldn't be, using too much water, things like that. Some of those people you know of as Kim Kardashian, Kevin Hart, and Sylvester Stallone, Steven Seagal doing other things. But there are plenty of other people, regular folks out there who are out there watering their lawns past their regular times. They don't get much mention because they're not famous. They're also more likely to actually get caught and get ticketed for what's going on. Right now, we're looking at ticketing situations, if you will. No one's getting prosecuted. No one's going to jail. No one's doing big time for extra watering. But as our situation water continues to digress, who knows? I doubt Kim Kardashian is going to jail for watering her plants, but they're putting her on blast anyway. TB12, Tom Brady returns to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, denies he was on The Masked Singer. This happened yesterday, where he came back to camp, came back to the team, came back to play, with the rumor being that he left for a few weeks to take care of business in LA as a part of the taping of The Masked Singer. Now, all that stuff is super secret, top ultra secret magic, secret stuff. So we don't know what's going on. And Tom Brady says he didn't do it. But of course, that's what you say if you're Tom Brady and you were secretly taping The Masked Singer and didn't want anybody to know. You would, of course, say, no, it wasn't me. I'm pretty sure Giuliani said I wasn't there either, but we found out he was there early when it was leaked very, very, very early that he was out there. Tom Brady won that he will be there. Now, the biggest thing is people assume that Tom Brady's back at training camp because he actually lost. And so he was done with The Masked Singer, and that's why he's back a little early. Otherwise, he'd still be there for another week or so. We shall see as the next season of Masked Singer, which is, only been on the air for maybe 5-6 years, already in season 85 or so, coming up new on Fox this upcoming season. Let's go to a person who's doing bad things, who's literally a bad person. Trump had more than 300 classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. This headline is extremely misleading, with very, very, very many stories involving in the revolving and evolving story of the documents he took to Mar-a-Lago. Here's this deal. So the first batch of documents they received came from the National Archives saying, hey, you got some stuff. Can you get it to us? They sent a few boxes or whatever, I think 12, 15 boxes. Of that first box, there were 100 documents that were containing classified information that had maybe 700 up to 700 pages of classified information. That's why you're hearing 100 from the first gab and 700 from a total. And that may be a mix-up itself. Overall, we're looking at about 300 classified documents from basically 3 different grabs. And of course, the Justice Department says there might be more, or at least someone's telling them there might actually be more there. This is a growing scandal, although Trump doesn't think it's a scandal. They think it's just, his stuff. They're trying to take his stuff. They're persecuting him. They're trying to witch hunt him and all the other things. Witchy, witchy, witchy. And what about her emails? Oh, I'm sorry. That was the other lady. What about her emails? So what we're finding out is there's many, many more documents that have top secret and even a plus clearance that have to be read. Back when I was in the military and dealt with these things, had to be read in a specific area, which was walled off, no cell phones, no lights, guards outside, no way to, can't take notes. And whatever you had in your head is what you can carry out from the documents. You cannot carry them anyplace else. Only people like the president in very secure situations can handle some things like that. And in those cases, they still were in secured places, supposedly in the White House. We shall see. Nick Saban regained status as college football's top paid coach after extending Alabama contract. I'm not exactly sure who exactly overtook him last year, because last year was a big year for coaching extensions, and so it wasn't his time. But Nick Saban, the pure prince of darkness in football, is now once again your highest paid coach in the league, which means Alabama's winning 3 more championships in a row, or Saban's going to die. One of those two things is going to happen. But we do know that Nick Saban right now, the master, essentially, the first time ever he's actually been bested by someone of his discipleship was last year with Georgia. The first time it's ever happened. No one of his disciples ever beat him in any championship level, at least. Now we shall see whether the Prince of Darkness shall take over his throne and reign supreme for a few more years. Now that he has an extension and is once again officially the most paid college coach in the nation. Paul Rudd has been cast in season 3 of Only Murders in the Building after his shocking cameo appearance in the season 2 finale. Oops, spoiler alert. Paul Rudd was in the season 2 finale of Only Murders in the Building, which premiered yesterday on the streaming service. So as of midnight, Monday, Tuesday, something like that, you could have seen this. And if you haven't seen it, we're not going deep into the story. We do know who killed Bunny. It's a very interesting, intricate plot that played itself out. And there were, if you were paying attention, shades of what was going on early on, but a lot of misdirection, a lot of deflection in the actual series finale or the season finale. Paul Rudd made a pretty significant and pretty amazing appearance in season 3 of the finale, which leads for him being a member of the cast for next season. Now, we'll see how that plays out going on, how the season actually plays out. They're obviously not taping it quite yet, but we will see. This is a thing that will finally have a murder outside of the building as the only spoiler that we'll have for you. But you'll see how this thing plays out going forward. MoviePass is relaunching next month. It's back, baby. After failing significantly, I might add, in 2019. MoviePass was basically a service that allowed you to pay like $9, like about $9 a month, and get 40 movie tickets. You can watch as many movies as you want to a month for like the price of half a ticket. It was insane. It was crazy. It made no sense, and it worked for a while. And then, economies came in, and then pandemic came in, and then all sorts of other stuff came in. Then movies almost died, and then now MoviePass is back. Now, MoviePass is not all that significantly different from what your standard movie theater chains are doing. So they basically, to fight MoviePass, made their theater chain loyalty rewards programs a lot like MoviePass. You pay for essentially the cost of a ticket, and you can go to 4 movies a month. You get discounts on snacks, things like that. MoviePass essentially did that. The MoviePass version, which is essentially open to all brands, all movies, all the time, apparently coming back next month. So they say. We will see how good, how bad, how ingenious, how bad MoviePass will go going forward. Little League World Series officials find no ill intent after viral video sparks racial sensitivity questions. This viral video is the fact that there was a black kid in one of the teams, and all his white teammates were pulling cotton out of these stuffed animals and placing on his head. Because they're all like 12, they don't understand the actual significance of it. But there's some very, very serious racial undertones in that action and what was going on. Now, granted, they found no ill intent from the kids or the coaches going on that were supervising them. But this has been one of the weirdest Little League World Series that I can remember. I can't remember paying this much attention to the Little League World Series and so much happening. There's a kid that gets beamed by the pitcher, and then the kid that got bean comes and hugs the pitcher. There's a boy who's in a coma because he fell out of a bunk bed. There's this thing right here. There's some hot mic stuffs calling having the kids saying the refs are fixing the games. This has been bonkers. This World Series has been bananas this year. And I don't know if it's because they need the attention or it's just, we're just so worn out from COVID fatigue and just kind of keeping up with stuff that all of a sudden all these things are happening right now in this thing. Perfect storm for what's going on. I'm almost positive this Little League World Series will continue, but this has been bananas. Seriously. Paul Pelosi pleads guilty to DUI and gets no additional jail time after crashing in his Porsche in Napa Valley in May. Now, the capitals, all caps, it's not because I'm shouting. It's because I've got this from The Guardian or one of the tabloids overseas, and they like to do caps and shout and things like that. Paul Pelosi back in May got caught on DUI driving his Porsche in Napa Valley. We know that because he is rich and semi-famous there, and of course married to the third in line for the presidency. It was a bigger deal than it is. It's a pretty big deal. Some dude getting picked up for DUI, rich white dude. Yeah, you got that. But the fact that his wife is Nancy Pelosi made it a bigger deal, which we people wondered what was going to happen as has happened. Now, this is June, July, August. So it's been 3 months, but he's now finally dealing with the actual ramifications trial-wise, and he's pleading guilty to the DUI. We will see how this plays out in the courts, but he is going to take some responsibility with the pleading guilty. No one was hurt, no property damage, but he's taking responsibility for this action, at least back from May. This is a sad one. At the same time, it's a sign of the times that there is maturity in the ranks where things are going on for business and technology. Black Girls Code files lawsuit against ousted founder over alleged hijacking of website. The founder of Black Girls Code, a website, a group, a charity that gets more Black girls, more girls in general, into the world of coding, into the world of technology, doing more stuff with technology at a young age so they can have a leg up when they get into the world of actually fighting for jobs, was ousted over whatever. It may have been good beef, it may have been bad beef, but this is what happens in companies when someone founds it and other people get involved. Eventually, somebody new decides they want to do things different, and it's the whole Macbeth, Hamlet type of situation where you're taking things over. It gets weird, it gets ugly, it gets bad. There is blood, there are tears, there are lots and lots of pointing fingers. So the Black Girls Code organization, as it lies, is filing a lawsuit suing the original founder for hacking the website. Go read the story so you get deeper into what's going on. Basically, there's beef between the founder and the organization, which is still doing good, but doesn't want to do any good with the founder anymore. This happens in Silicon Valley all the time. What it does not happen all the time is for minority type groups or smaller type groups or women-owned groups, because it's seen like not being in the family because you have to fight the other guys. But actually, the ironic thing is this is what happens with things that get popular in Silicon Valley. Things like this happen all the time. Let's talk about teasing, if you will. This is a story we may talk about tomorrow if you want to get into it. Kanye West is filing a new logo for a big blue dot thing. Yes, this is going along with his clothing line or whatever. But his logo is a big blue dot logo thing. If that's your thing, if Kanye your thing, we've not talked much about Kanye because we've been talking most about Kim and Pete. Now that Kim and Pete are no longer, we'll probably talk more about Kanye. You tell us by going to seeing this thing post. I think it's posting. I think it posted about 5 minutes ago. This story is going to post, and you can engage in it and tell me if it's worth talking about tomorrow. No, it's not no BS Britney Spears special. It's Kanye West, and he's got a blue logo for his clothing line, which are not sold in garbage bags. They're sold in cargo bags. Get it straight, people. That's how it works out. Let's talk about another bit of finance, and that is finance for us and finance for you. Check out Fundrise as a way to get into the world of real estate investing. This is the conversationproject.com/fundrise. This is the conversationproject.com/fundrise is your ticket to a new way to get into your new investments. Real estate is still going crazy. Here's a sidebar here. We actually received a postcard yesterday from the realtors who held the listing for our house that showed a picture of our house showing how it was successfully sold and how we should get them to sell our house, which we just bought technically from them. I'm not sure how that works out in the weird metaverse of things. I'm not sure if this is if this is alternate reality, but it was weird. So real estate's still happening, and the biggest thing they said on their list was there's a shortage of houses for sale. So if you want to sell your house, they can help you get it sold for a profit. And it was a profit. So that was there. Here's the deal. Fundrise takes care of that for you. They go out and literally find, yesterday, they sent a listing, an update of a new property they bought. And they buy properties and they manage properties. They buy and sell them just like regular real estate. They also manage commercial real estate, rental properties, things like that. And they send you updates on what they're adding to the portfolio. And you can check your portfolio anytime you want to by just logging into the app. I have made about 6% or so, a little over 6% over the year. It's since I started in January. I've started fresh in January around the 2nd or 3rd, and around the late part of the month, I actually joined as an affiliate. But over this year so far, year to date, I've earned about 6% in my portfolio for this one, in investments, in both dividends and accruing of things. I guess I'm getting excited, so I'm getting all flustered with that one. But you need to check this thing out. This is conversationproject.com/Fundrise. Will offer you a link to them and their affiliate link, so we get a little bit from you if you go to them. You'll get an extra share of stock for signing up, and for this first 30 days, check them out because this is going back and forth. For the first 30 days of my term in, I had no fees for the transactions. So take out a small fee to take up for transactions. Your first 30 days should be transaction fees free. So pile it up, load it on the front end of what you want to get some money in there and get into the world of investing. They also have an IPO coming up that if you are a big time baller and get it on that level, you can get in on that as well. Check them out at this. It's conversationproject.com/fundrise. The real estate will eventually, bubble will burst and things will go weird and it'll turn back to a normal cycle. But this will get you into the world without dealing with that, because this is just a fund where people take care of the work for you. Check it out at Fundrise. Find them through our link at this. It's conversationproject.com/Fundrise. Website's a note for this morning and every morning. This is the conversationproject.com is our main website, our home for stuff. So check it out for the links to the feed, links to our sponsors, links to our partnerships page, and ways you can help keep things going on here. Facebook and Twitter is where the feeds live. On Facebook, this is a Conversation Project, and on Twitter, th_conversation. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Every 50 minutes, we post a news story. Like it, love it, hate it, share it. Give us what you think about it. And the more engagement it gets, better chance we have of talking about it right here, right now, or in the future if you're watching the replay. That's how it works. TikTok, The Conversation Project. YouTube, this is conversationproject.com/YouTube. And podcast, this is conversationproject.com/podcast. The TikTok is kind of whack, but we're trying. We're trying really, really hard. Trust me. We're not trying to be farmer bros or drug bros or fitness bros. We're just trying to figure out how to do the TikTok. It's fun, but we're not getting traction. Check it out. See if you can help us out with that one. We're on YouTube right now, also on Facebook. So you want to get this 5 days a week, subscribe at our YouTube channel and hit notifications for the 5:50 a.m. wake up call and the podcast version, which is basically just this audio there as well. So any visual things I've already done, I apologize, because I'm still have to remember that we're just taking the audio and doing the podcast. Now, today things include birthdays for this August 24th, starting off with the former chairman of the WWE, formerly WWF, the man that brought all the wrestling stables together to TV, made it big time for business for everyone, then squashed all this competition, and now in the light of actual competition, and of course, a lot of ladies saying that he did very bad things to him, he's gone. But he's not forgotten, and he's not dead yet. Vince McMahon turning 77 years old today, but long live Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, a.k.a. Paul Levesque, as he and his wife, Stephanie McMahon, are trying to reshape the WWE. Doing a pretty good job off the bat, surprising people with great things so far. Steve Guttenberg, who known mostly for the Police Academy movies, for the little big time stuff back, bringing my childhood back. But he does a lot of things. He still does a lot of things, a lot of producing and writing and working with folks, mentoring, if you will, in the Hollywood Hills. 64 years old on the day. And Dave Chappelle. I wasn't sure which one to put in for the teaser for which guy's being the bigger jerk these days, Vince McMahon or Dave Chappelle, but they're both having birthdays on the day. So Vince got in the promos, but Dave got his props as well. 49 years old today, which makes me feel not as old because I'm not quite as old as Dave Chappelle, which is good, which means maybe there's still a chance. Today is Weather Complaint Day. And just like that, today is the day set aside for you to complain about the weather. Today, your weather complaints will not be, well, no one's really going to care about your weather complaints, to be honest. But today is a day set aside for actually complaining about it. So if you were a day that someone were to listen to you complain about the weather, just in general, not so much today's weather, because you get 365 days in one day. This is it. If you want to talk about Arkansas and the fact that we went through 8 different seasons in about a week or so, you can do stuff like that. You want to talk about the snow in the north, that it snows and then you don't see visualization for months. You can talk about that. You want to talk about hurricanes and tornadoes and typhoons and water spouts. Complain in your way. I'm not listening. I'm not sure who's listening, but today is your day to complain about the weather. Let's go out on this one right here. It reads, redheads are becoming more rare and could be extinct in 100 years, according to genetic scientists. National Geographic magazine once recorded that less than 2% of the world's population was natural red hair, created a mutation in Northern Europe thousands of years ago. Global intermingling, which broadens the availability of possible partners, has reduced the chances of redheads meeting and producing little redheads of their own. Some experts say that redheads could be gone as early as 2060. One of my favorite redheads, one of my best friends, my favorite redhead, is out there. And she told me this, back in college, that essentially being a redhead is some sort of freak of nature. Essentially, she's a genetic mutation that should not exist based on how things work in the world, and that the chances of her having kids with red hair are going to be slim, because that would mean she'd have to find some really pale skinned redhead guy to essentially make sure all the genes come in place. I think every time I see things like this, I think about her saying that, and just the weirdest thing of all. So people have this thing about redheads or whatever, but you can be a redhead just out of the bottle, because many people do that. But the genetic redheads are essentially going to be extinct. So says this one, in about 40 years? Really? We shall see how that all plays out ultimately. This has been things you might have heard for the day of Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. We thank you so much for being a part of the show, whether it is the video show where I'm waving my fingers or the audio show where you did not see me wave my fingers. Thank you so much for joining us for this romp around the world of news and enjoying the news we offer up. As your tertiary news source, as your news side piece, we like to make sure that you're getting the news love that you really, really need, even if Anderson Cooper is right now sort of sweating over whether he has a job in a week or so. There's a lot of weird things going on at CNN. And, MSNBC, Alex Wagner, she got to get her feet underneath her. What's going on. Handy's kind of slipping, too. That's what's really weird about Handy's he's off kilter too. So while they're figuring out what's going on and don't have Russia to yell at, although they technically do, we give you more news stories from random sources, not so random, but random news sources that gives you a big swath of things to talk about. So now that you have your coffee chat, your tea chat, your bus chat, your water cooler chat ready to go get it done. Go get your day done. It's hump day, humpity hump day, do the humpty hump. The camel saying, guess what? It's hump day. So let's get that day started, get your day going, have a great day going on. Big thanks to my mother-in-law, Sharon, for bringing in some stuff, and Christina with a K, also for checking in on the morning. Big ups to Josh out there, fighting the good fight out there for us, keeping us safe out there. I got stuff coming your way, brother, so check that out as it comes your way. That's it. Done rambling, done talking, done. Let's get on with it.